Good day. Today I'm going to read Mark chapter 5, and it's regarding the 2,000 swine or 2,000 pigs and the actual devils or the legion of spirits that want to go into the swine instead of going back to hell where they belong. As I said one time before, that gives you a good idea of what hell must be like, even if the spirits, the evil ones themselves, don't want to go back there. But that's not my focus today. My focus is not on that. My focus is on Jesus. Where is Jesus? Where is God when you need God? What's happening today that God is not here with us? I had that question put to me just a short time ago when there was a murder committed down in Texas, the school, 19 children and 2 teachers. Now I'm going to try and explain this as much as I can, explain it, and hopefully, maybe it'll get across to some as to what we should actually do. Now this starts out in chapter 5 here, is that they traveled across the sea to the land of the Gerasenes in Galilee. When Jesus came ashore there, he was immediately met by a man who was tortured by an evil spirit. This man lived in the cemeteries and no one could control him, not even those who tried to tie him up or chain him. He had often been bound in chains, but his strength is so great that he could break the chains and tear the irons loose from his feet and his hands. No one and nothing could subdue him. Now day and night he lurked among the tombs or ran mad in the hills, and the darkness made him scream or cut himself with sharp-edged stones. When this man saw Jesus coming in the distance, he ran to him and fell to his knees in front of him. And Jesus started commanding the unclean spirits. And Jesus said, "Come out of that man, you wicked spirit." And the unclean spirit shouting, "What's this all about, Jesus, Son of the Most High? In the name of God, I beg you, don't torture us." So Jesus said, "What is your name?" And the unclean spirit says, "They call me Legion, for there are thousands of us in this body." And then the legion begged Jesus again to leave them alone, not to send them out of the country or back to hell. So, since the Gerasenes were not Jews who considered pigs to be unclean, there happened to be a large swine, about 2,000 or so, that were feeding on a hill in the distance. So the unclean spirit says, and they were begging, "Send us into the pigs if you have to, so that we may enter into them." So now Jesus granted them this prayer. They actually, this was a prayer, believe it or not. They prayed to Jesus to send them into the swine. So Jesus granted that request. The darkness swept up out of the man and into the herd of pigs, and they thundered down the hill into the water, and there they drowned, all 2,000 of them. Now the swine's herds ran away. So the swine herdsmen, they were there taking care of the pigs. They ran away telling everybody they met what had happened. Now eventually the whole crowd of people came to see for themselves. When they reached Jesus, they found a man Legion that was bounded with chains and had inflicted himself and had been possessed, sitting quietly, fully sane, and fully clothed. And when they saw this, they were overwhelmed with fear and wonder. Now those who had witnessed everything told the others what had happened, how Jesus had healed the man, how the pigs had rushed into the sea. Remember, 2,000 pigs, and how they had destroyed themselves. Now when they heard the whole story, the Gerasenes turned to Jesus and begged him to go away. Now once again, this is another prayer. They're asking, this is a prayer. Leave us, Jesus. Go away. Get away from us. So when Jesus climbed back into the boat, the cured demonic asked if he could come with him, and Jesus said no. So listen to this. Jesus answered two prayers. One, he answered the prayer of the evil spirits to put them into the swine. He did that. Then the people, because he had sent them into the swine, and the swine now had jumped into the sea and drowned themselves, 2,000 pigs. Now, believe it or not, that's quite a few dollars of money back then. So now it became economical. It was no longer had anything to do with religion or with miracles. This became something else, economical. Now they had lost a great deal of money because 2,000 pigs cost a great deal of money. So now they're praying to Jesus or begging him to leave. Get away from them. Get away from our country. We don't want you here. Their prayer was answered. Jesus left. Didn't go back. He answered their prayer. They wanted Jesus gone. He's gone. Which brings me back to our modern world today. We allow guns in the streets. We allow guns to run rampant. We allow drugs. In fact, we feed them with needles. We feed them. We bring them in the clinics. We feed them. Drugs are overrunning the nation, the world. Our solution is to continue giving it to them. That's not a solution. That's not a solution to a problem. That's not it at all. We have guns by the thousands in our homes. Guns. Why do we need guns? Why do we need so many guns? Why do we need guns this day and age in this world? Why do we need guns? So our children can get their hands on them, go into our schools and commit murder? Is that why we need guns? And then we'll have some politicians stand high on the pedestal and shout, freedom, freedom, we have freedom. We have the freedom to carry weapons. What about the freedom of those dead children and those two teachers? Where's their freedom? Why did it happen? Why did it happen? Because we asked Jesus to leave the schools. We asked Jesus to leave our workplaces. We asked Jesus to leave our homes. We asked Jesus to leave, and he left. Jesus left. Our prayers were answered. We asked him to leave. Why did we ask him to leave? Why? Why was it so important to take him out of the schools? Why is it so important for us to take the only good thing that would ever happen to us, the only good thing, the only great thing that would ever happen to us, and ask him to be sent away? Is it that harmful for a child to learn the Lord's Prayer? Is it that harmful for a child to learn about love and respect and to honor? Is it that hard for a child? Is it that hard for us to teach our child that they should not bully, that they should not fight, that they should not commit murder? Is it that hard? Are we a nation that we let our children run wild? Are we a nation that we just don't care anymore? Are we a nation that our church doors are closing and we don't care anymore? Are we a nation that we're only tied up in one thing? Economics, money, the big car, the big house. Is that all we are? We asked Jesus to leave. He left. Why does God let these things happen? Because we asked God to leave. We asked God to leave and He left. God gave us free will. Remember that. First and foremost, God gave us free will. He gave us free will to do as we please. He gave us free will that if we want to go to hell, then we can go to hell. He gave us free will that if we want to commit murder, then we can commit murder. That's our will. That's not God's will. That's our will. All God wanted us to do was to learn love, to learn respect. God just wanted us to know the great and joyful things of life. We thought that was too much. He was asking too much of us to know joy. He's asking too much to know love. We thought He was asking too much. But was He really? Was He really? I would rather put a hymn book or a Bible in the hands of my son or daughter rather than put a gun into it. I'd rather have them singing hymns in the church than going out and yelling profanity on the streets. Yes, are we asking too much? Are we asking too much when we ask God to leave? Yes, we did. You know why? Because we brought a cloud of darkness over us after that. Because there was never any more joy. Because going to school is no longer safe. Going to the workplace is no longer safe. Going anywhere is no longer safe. We can't go to a theater. We don't know if it's going to be safe there. We can't go shopping malls. We don't know if it's going to be safe there. Christmas time. What do we do with Christmas? We take Christ out of Christmas. We commercialize it. Once again, economics. Economics. So you wonder why? What happens to this world? What happened to us today? Is because we sent Jesus away. We sent Him away. The loving Son of God. The one who loved us. The one who died on the cross for us. We sent Him away. And we thought it so hard to have a child say the Lord's Prayer in church. We thought that was the utter disgrace to another human being. Are we that way today? Are we going to continue to be that way? We need to change. We need to change. We need to bring God back into our lives. We need to bring Jesus back into our lives. And if He don't bring Him back soon, it will be too late for all of us. It will be too late. There's a day coming, a day of reckoning. Jesus is going to come back. And be sure He will. And when He does, there is a day of reckoning. So if you want to continue to feed handguns to your children, you want to continue feeding profanity to your loved ones, you want to feed drugs, you want to feed alcohol, continue on. You want to continue down that path to hell that even the demons didn't want to go. You want to go down that path? Once you do, trust me, it'll be awfully, awfully hard to turn around and come back. But you can. You can. It's not impossible. You ask for Jesus in your heart today. You ask for Jesus now. Bring Him into your heart. You ask for Him now. Ask Jesus to come into your home, into your school, into your place of business. Don't be ashamed to say that you are a follower of Jesus. Don't be ashamed to say that you love Christ. Bring Him into your heart. Bring joy back into our lives. And show our children what it is to love Jesus. what they can benefit from it, what God can do for them. Bring Jesus back into our homes, into our schools. I beg you now, as I never begged before, please, please come to Jesus. Please come to Jesus. Amen.